I never believed in fate until the night I found her dying in the snow, the woman who would either destroy me or save me. I just didn't know which yet. The blood trail led me deeper into the abandoned industrial district. Fresh, still warm despite Moscow's bitter cold. My hand instinctively moved to my gun. This was supposed to be a simple weapons pickup, not a murder scene. But the Bratva, the Brotherhood, had taught me to expect anything. That's when I saw her. A woman's body sprawled in the snow, dark hair fanned around her head like a halo. Or a target. My heart stopped. In my line of work you see death constantly. But something about her made me run. She was breathing. Barely. Her face was a canvas of purple and black, swollen beyond recognition. Designer dress torn to shreds. Blood pooled beneath her, melting the snow into crimson slush. Someone had beaten her within an inch of her life, then dumped her here like garbage. Her eyes fluttered open, startling blue, filled with terror. She tried to scream but only managed to wheeze. "You're safe now," I whispered, though we both knew it might be a lie. "Boss, we need to go. The Chechens will be here any minute." Dmitri, my second in command, grabbed my arm. He froze when he saw what I was carrying. "Alexei, no. We don't know who she is, what she's involved in. Look at her." I laid her gently in the back seat of my Mercedes. Someone did this deliberately. Took their time. This was personal. The woman's hand shot out, gripping my wrist with surprising strength. "Please, don't take me, hospital." Each word was agony. "Bill, find me." Who were they? And why did her American accent send alarm bells ringing in my head? Americans didn't just appear in this part of Moscow, especially not beaten half to death. I made a decision that would change everything. Take us to the penthouse. Call Dr. Sokolov. And Dmitri? Not a word to anyone. Not even the inner circle. His eyes widened. "You think it's one of ours?" I don't know what to think yet. But someone with resources did this. Someone with reach. I looked down at the woman's broken face. "Until I know who, she's in danger. Which means so are we." Dr. Sokolov's face grew grimmer with each injury he catalogued. 3 broken ribs. Fractured cheekbone. Concussion. Cigarette burns covering her arms and torso. Internal bleeding. Ligature marks on her wrists and ankles. She'd been tortured professionally. Methodically. "This woman needs a hospital, Alexei. I've done what I can, but..." "No hospitals." I poured vodka with shaking hands. When had my hands ever shaken? "They'll track her through the system. Whoever did this has connections. Then she may die here." "She won't." I downed the vodka, welcoming the burn. "She's a fighter. I can see it in her eyes." Dr. Sokolov packed his bag. "I'll return tomorrow. If she survives the night." His tone made it clear he doubted she would. I sat beside her bed, watching her chest rise and fall. Each breath was a victory. Around 3 a.m. her eyes opened. "Clear now." Assessing. She studied me for a long moment before speaking. "Why did you save me?" Her voice was hoarse but steady. Stronger than it should be. "Because I wanted to." It was the truth if incomplete. "You're Alexei Morozov. Head of the Morozov Bratva." Not a question. A statement. My blood chilled. "How do you know that?" "Because my husband works for the man who ordered my death. And that man is your worst enemy." I was on my feet, gun drawn before my brain caught up. "Who are you?" "My name is Sophie Chen. My husband, David, is the chief financial officer for Viktor Krasnov." She struggled to sit up, wincing. "Viktor found out I copied his financial records. Everything. The trafficking routes, the money laundering, the politicians on his payroll. I was going to turn him in." Viktor Krasnov. The name alone made my jaw clench. For 2 years we'd been locked in a territorial war. He'd killed 12 of my men. I'd killed 15 of his. A bloody stalemate that was destroying both our organizations. "David found the USB drive," Sophie continued, tears streaming down her battered face. "I thought he'd help me go to the FBI. Instead, he gave me to Viktor as a peace offering. Proof of his loyalty. Your own husband." The words tasted like poison. "My husband is a coward who married me for my family's connections. When Viktor's men came for me..." She closed her eyes. "They spent 2 days torturing me, trying to find where I'd hidden backup copies. I didn't break. So Viktor ordered them to kill me and dump my body where it would be found. A message to anyone else who might betray him. But you're still alive. Which means Viktor doesn't know. Yet." Sophie's voice dropped to a whisper. "But he will. And when he does..." My phone buzzed. "Dmitri." I answered, already knowing it was bad news. Boss, we have a problem. Victor's men just hit 3 of our warehouses. And they're asking about an American woman. I hung up and looked at Sophie. How many people knew you were investigating Krasnov? Just David and my FBI contact. Her eyes widened in horror. Oh God. Special Agent Morrison. Victor must have gotten to him. That's how they knew I'd be at our apartment. Morrison was supposed to be there to extract me. Morrison's dead then. Or working for Victor. Either way, I'm dead too. She tried to stand, gasping in pain. I need to leave. No. Before I get you killed too. Sit down. The command came out harsher than intended. You're not going anywhere. You can barely walk and there's a blizzard outside. Victor's men are searching every hospital, every clinic, every safe house in Moscow. Exactly. Which is why I can't stay here. You said it yourself, you and Victor are enemies. If he finds out you have me, let him find out. The word surprised even me. Victor Krasnov has been a thorn in my side for too long. Maybe it's time to remove him permanently. Sophie stared at me like I'd lost my mind. Maybe I had. But as I looked at this broken, brave woman who'd risked everything to do the right thing, something shifted inside me. Something dangerous. You want to use me as bait. I want to give you justice. And maybe save both our lives in the process. I sat across from her. Victor doesn't know you're alive. That's our advantage. He thinks his problem is solved. Until David realizes my body hasn't been found. Which gives us maybe 48 hours. My mind was already racing through possibilities. Tell me everything you know about Victor's operation. Every detail. Every weakness. Sophie studied me for a long moment. Why should I trust you? You're a criminal just like him. Because I've never hurt a woman. Never trafficked children. Never sold drugs that destroy families. I met her eyes. I'm not a good man, Sophie. But I'm not Victor Krasnov. And right now, I'm the only chance you have. She nodded slowly. The files. I uploaded them to a secure cloud server before David found the USB drive. Everything Victor does, everyone he owns, it's all there. Encrypted with a password only I know. Then we have leverage. We have a death wish. For 2 days Sophie and I planned. Dr. Sokolov returned daily, marveling at her recovery. The bruises were fading from purple to yellow-green. Her ribs were healing. But more than that, her spirit was returning. She was sharp, brilliant even. An economics professor who'd accidentally married into a nightmare. Victor moves his trafficking shipments through the port every Friday, she explained, spreading papers across my dining table. He uses legitimate cargo companies as cover. The shipping manifests are clean, but if you know what to look for. The weight discrepancies. I saw it immediately. Containers that should weigh X actually weigh Y. Exactly. Human cargo. Her voice was cold. Children mostly. From Eastern Europe, Asia. Destined for brothels across Western Europe and America. My stomach turned. I'd done terrible things in my life. But this was evil beyond comprehension. The next shipment is in 3 days, Sophie continued. If we can intercept it, document everything and get it to honest FBI agents, and yes, they exist, we can destroy Victor's entire operation. And paint a target on both our backs. The target's already there, Alexei. We might as well make it worth it. She was right. And somewhere during those 2 days of planning, something else happened. I started seeing Sophie not as a victim to protect or a weapon to wield. I started seeing her as a partner. As a woman whose intelligence matched her courage. As someone who made me laugh despite the darkness surrounding us. As someone I could love. That terrified me more than any bullet. The port was quiet when we arrived. Too quiet. Sophie, now wearing body armor under her coat, checked her phone for the 3rd time. The shipping manifest says the container arrives at midnight. It's 11:45. Something's wrong. I signaled to Dmitri and our team, positioned throughout the warehouse district. This feels like. Spotlights blazed to life, blinding us. 30 armed men emerged from the shadows, rifles trained on us. And walking calmly through the middle of them was Victor Krasnov himself, his smile cold as the Moscow winter. Alexei Morozov. How predictable. Victor clapped slowly. Did you really think I didn't know you had my little accountant? My mind raced. Oh, we've been so careful. You're wondering how I found out? Victor laughed. Your Dr. Sokolov is a gambling man. Owes me quite a bit of money. When he made 3 mysterious house calls to your penthouse, I got curious. Betrayed by the doctor. Of course. In this world, everyone had a price. Sophie, darling, step away from the criminal and come here. Your husband is very eager to see you. Victor gestured, and David Chen stepped forward, looking sick but standing with Victor nonetheless. Sophie's hand found mine, squeezing tight. I'm not going anywhere with you. Then you'll die with him. Such a waste. Victor raised his hand, ready to signal his men to fire. That's when the real ambush began. FBI agents swarmed from every direction, weapons drawn. Federal agents. Drop your weapons. Viktor Krasnov, you're under arrest. Victor's face went white. His men hesitated, looking between their boss and the dozens of federal agents surrounding them. Sophie stepped forward, pulling a recording device from her pocket. Every word, Victor. Every confession. You just admitted to tracking me, to the doctor's surveillance, to everything. You set me up. Victor's voice was deadly quiet. We set you up, I corrected. Dr. Sokolov has been working with the FBI for 6 months. He came to me 3 weeks ago, before Sophie even appeared. We've been gathering evidence on you, waiting for the right moment. It was a lie. Sort of. The truth was more complicated. When Sophie first told me about the files, I'd made a choice. I contacted my own FBI source, Agent Maria Torres, who'd been trying to flip me for years. I offered her something better. Viktor Krasnov's entire operation, delivered on a silver platter. In exchange? Immunity for my organization's past crimes and a fresh start going legitimate. Torres had jumped at the chance. The shipment isn't coming, Victor, Sophie continued, her voice growing stronger. Because the FBI intercepted it 2 hours ago. 23 children rescued. Your entire trafficking network exposed. You'll pay for this. Victor lunged towards Sophie, but I was faster. My fist connected with his jaw and he went down hard. You're wrong, I told his crumpled form. You're the one who's going to pay. For Sophie, for those children, for every life you destroyed. 3 months later, I stood in a federal courtroom watching Viktor Krasnov receive 15 consecutive life sentences. David Chen got 20 years for his role in Sophie's attempted murder. Dr. Sokolov received immunity for his cooperation. And Sophie? She stood beside me, her hand in mine. The bruises had long since faded. She'd testified against Victor, David, and 37 other members of his organization with a courage that amazed everyone in the courtroom. She'd also testified on my behalf, explaining how I'd helped bring down one of the largest trafficking operations in Eastern Europe. As part of my immunity deal, I dissolved the Morozov Bratva's criminal enterprises. The weapons trafficking, the protection rackets, the gray market operations, all of it gone. What remained was legitimate security consulting, real estate, technology investments. It was strange going straight. But with Sophie by my side, it felt right. What are you thinking about? She asked as we left the courthouse, ignoring the reporters shouting questions. About the night I found you. How close I came to driving past. But you didn't. She stopped, turning to face me on the courthouse steps. Snow was falling just like that first night. You saved my life, Alexei. You gave me justice. You gave me everything. You saved me too, I admitted. Gave me a reason to be better. To want more than power and revenge. So what do we do now? I pulled out a small velvet box. Now, I'm hoping you'll marry me. For real this time. Not to a coward who betrayed you, but to a reformed criminal who loves you more than life itself. Sophie's eyes filled with tears. Happy ones this time. That's not a fair question. My heart sank. Sophie. Because the answer is obviously yes, you idiot. She laughed through her tears, throwing her arms around me. Yes. Yes to everything. To you, to us, to this crazy impossible life. I kissed her there on the courthouse steps while snow fell around us and cameras flashed. I didn't care who saw. Let the whole world know that Alexei Morozov, former Bratva boss, had fallen completely, irrevocably in love. Our wedding was small. Dmitri stood as my best man. Agent Torres attended, surprisingly emotional. Dr. Sokolov, fully forgiven, walked Sophie down the aisle since her family had disowned her years ago for marrying David. She looked breathtaking in a simple white dress, her hair adorned with winter flowers. As she walked toward me, I thought about how far we'd both come. From that night in the snow to this moment of perfect joy. I love you, I whispered as she joined me at the altar. I love you too. My savior. My partner. My home. We exchanged vows promising not just love, but honesty, courage, and partnership. In a way, we'd already been through the for worse part. The for better was just beginning. After the wedding, Sophie opened a legal clinic helping trafficking survivors. I used my business connections to fund it and provide security. We worked together to build something meaningful from the ashes of our former lives. Some nights she still had nightmares. I'd hold her close, stroking her hair, whispering those same words from our first night, "You're safe now." And she was. We both were. We'd found each other in the darkest moment, two broken people in the snow. But together we became whole. Together we became home. I never believed in fate until the night I found her dying in the snow. Now I believe in something better. Second chances, redemption, and a love strong enough to conquer anything. They say some loves are written in the stars. Ours was written in blood and snow and survived anyway. And we lived, truly lived, happily ever after. Sometimes the most dangerous thing a man can do isn't pulling the trigger, it's opening his heart. But sometimes that's exactly what saves him.